We would be honored if you would join us.
Hey Star Wars fans and action figure collectors, just wanted to talk about the Hasbro Pulse Star Wars fan stream that went on last night, my time, 23rd of January 2024, first one for the year. Been excited to get some new reveals, some new pipelines. So yeah, I just thought I'd just run through and talk about them a little bit. It's been sort of nice just to go to work today and sort of process everything and just, have a little bit of a think, sort of get the vibe that's going on online. Of course, it is mixed, of course, as it usually is. There's always some mixed reactions with certain things. But yeah, I'd like to thank, I've got a website open right here, so bantherskull.com have put together a fantastic article by Chris from Banther Skull. So yeah, basically, I just want to run through. I'll put some images up on the screen as I'm talking, and sort of just go through what's coming out, what's pipelined, all that good stuff. So basically, we're starting off Vintage Collection. Sabine Wren and Chopper. These are the two figures that are slated to join the lot with the Ghost. These are two figures that promised would be put out with the mural card backs. And for me, these figures look pretty good. Chopper comes with a couple of Loth Cats, which is nice. Looks to be using pretty much the same figure as the one that was just released as part of the Ahsoka series, perhaps with a little bit more sort of animated colouring on it. Sabine looks like a fantastic figure, if you ask me. If I swap out head, it looks to be. They did say after the backlash from the last Vintage Collection Sabine from Ahsoka is, the helmet was way too big. They said from the future they will do, swap out head and helmet. So that's looking really good. And she's rocking the sort of the white, purple ombre hair. Looks awesome. She's got the jetpack. And the card backs just look really nice. That is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive at the moment. Yeah, that's as far as I know. I'm hoping that Zing Pop Culture will be able to get them to us here in Australia, because as you all know, at least in Australia, we don't have access to Hasbro Pulse. So hopefully there is a fan channel option there through Zing Pop Culture here in Australia. They seem to be the ones that are able to get most of these things. Sometimes they don't though, so we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully in the next few days, pre-orders will be available. I'm gonna have to deposit that one down straight away. So Vintage Collection also Clone Commander Rex Bracca mission. So this is another Captain Rex coming to the Vintage Collection, and a welcome one. This is his third card back. Second one from the Bad Batch. There's more Captain Rexes in Bad Batch card backs than there are actual Bad Batch members. I think the last couple of Rexes haven't really hit the mark. The previous Vintage Collection was a sort of a repack of a previously released Captain Rex from memory. I can't remember from when. Might have been 3 3/4 inch black series. Memory's fading on that one. And then they did the Bad Batch one, part of the 4-pack, and that wasn't Rex's head. And this one appears to be on the new clone body, with a removable helmet as well. So I'm not sure whether, I'm pretty sure it's a removable helmet. It sort of looks like the size of it is. And he's pretty clean armor, so you get the option to weather him up and make him look how you want. This is probably my favourite TVC reveal after the Sabine and Chopper. I'm just looking forward to having a nice Rex updated, because at the moment on my Clone Wars shelf I'm rocking a bit of a custom Rex that came with the previous VC Captain Rex. Can't remember the number of it, and the animated style Clone Wars Phase 2 helmet. I just felt like the size was a little bit better on that one. So next up we've got, where are we? I'm just scrolling. The Mandalorian is getting another release. Mine's a Mandalore version. This is the same figure that came with the N1 Starfighter, and it sounds like basically Hasbro said we didn't want to lock that figure in with that ship. We want fans to have access to that particular version of the Mandalorian, so I guess that's nice. Not unlike Luke Skywalker's and Darth Vader's, Mandalorian looks like to be one of those figures, as long as there's, Mandalorian series being out and, is a big part of the popular culture at hand. He's always going to be one of those evergreen figures that continually are released. We haven't had a carded Mandalorian outside of the N1 Starfighter since 2020, I think, maybe 2021. Blanking, maybe, I can't remember. The details are escaping me. And again, another vintage collection Grogu. So again, slightly different to all the other Grogus they're doing. That one's probably a pass for me personally. I've got enough Grogus, but understandably, that's it's like the Mandalorian. They go hand in hand, and I'm sure it'll eventually sell. Another interesting one. This is probably more of an easier sort of repack for most of them, or slight retool. Mandalorian Fleet Commander. We just had him in the Black Series. This time he is coming out in the Vintage Collection. I'm not objecting to this one at all. I think it's a nice, easy addition for them. Keep putting out Mandalorians. Wasn't a big character in the series. Maybe he had a bigger part to play at some stage of production, which is why Hasbro's gone and put out, both scales of this figure now. But yeah, never object to having another Mandalorian. When they've got that sculpt, you may as well get the most out of it. And if it means just doing a newly tooled head, which I'm not sure how it works, whether they're able to just sort of scale down from the 6-inch version or vice versa, not complaining. This one's probably a bit more interesting, but this is one that I'll probably end up getting myself. Vintage Collection Axe Woves, and in brackets Privateer. So sort of going with his Season 3 look, at least on the card back. Unfortunately, the figure doesn't match the card. Instead, we're sort of getting a re-release of the previous Axe Woves, this time with a swap-out helmet, because again, that helmet that came with Axe Woves, way too big. It just didn't look right, did not sit well. So yeah, it's good. It's good they've addressed that issue. I don't know whether they needed to put him out on a separate card back again. But that's up to you whether you want to pick up another Axe Woes or not. Just for the sake of the helmet, I might, and then use my existing Axe Woves as a bit of a custom, a bit of fodder just to mix up Mandalorian crew. We're getting a re-release this time of Luke Skywalker X-Wing Pilot. That's been a few years since that one came out. That was, I want to even say 2019, I reckon, because when they released Luke's X-Wing as well as part of the Vintage Collection, and sort of around the same time as those Rise of Skywalker figures came out. And don't get me wrong, that wasn't a bad Luke at all. He was also included in a 3-pack. And this is one I might actually toss up getting, because the one I picked up back then, the paint applications were a little bit off. I got the one in the 3-pack. I didn't get the individual carded one, but interestingly, the card back, they have changed the logo so that the small parts warning is now at the bottom of the card and doesn't get in the way of the old school sort of style Luke Skywalker holding the blade up logo in the top corner. So that's interesting. So that's pretty much it for the reveals for the Vintage Collection. Black Series got 3 new reveals, and then after that we'll talk about the pipelines. So yeah, Black Series, absolute banger of a figure to start off with, the Droideka, the Destroyer droid from Phantom Menace. I think this will only be the second figure in the Phantom Menace line in terms of this sort of the Galaxy Mural sort of box art design. So that's good to see. I'll definitely be getting a couple of those. Yeah, the droid looks like he does roll up into a ball, which is just awesome. I can't wait to just sort of line up some battle droids and play 10-pin bowling with the droideka. I think that'll look absolutely fantastic. It'll be good fun. I'm definitely going to be getting a couple of those, I reckon. Now we got some digital renders of Grand Admiral Thrawn from Ahsoka. So this is the live-action version, looking like Lars Mikkelsen. Oh, I think this looks absolutely remarkable. It looks like they've gone back to square one and done a new tooling, new outfit to match that, as opposed to just using the pre-existing Black Series body for Thrawn. So that's good. That's good. And another win for Black Series here with the re-release of Phase 1 Clone Trooper. Just a plain old shiny clone with a removable helmet, not unlike the most recent Black Series Phase 2 clone. This time with, looks to be the 3.0 clone body and a new helmet. Yeah, definitely want to get my hands on a couple of those at least. Yeah, couldn't quite get enough of the Phase 1 clones when they were last released. Interestingly, they've gone with the Attack of the Clones, which is fair enough. Yeah, I wonder whether they'd do a separate resculpt of a Phase 1 clone based on the helmet design from Ahsoka. The flashbacks with Anakin and all that. So I'll just bring on a Phase 1 Rex, please. So yeah, there's the actual reveals. Now we'll just talk about the pipelines for a little bit. And with these pipeline reveals, we have the Vintage Collection. We have Ahsoka R7A7CH33P, also known as Cheap, and RGG1GG. These three droids appeared with Ahsoka in the final episode of the Clone Wars. These were the three droids that helped her escape the crashing Venator Star Destroyer. HK87, which we've just had a red version. This looks like to be one of the other droids from Ahsoka as well, so that's cool. He's got a different looking cape. Also getting a single carded release of the Dark Trooper, which is fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing that one on the card. Hopefully that means we can pick up a few more of those, because they only released the Dark Trooper as part of the deluxe set, which came with like the dock. We are also getting Ahsoka the White, which is awesome. She was actually part of my top 25 March Madness thing just the other day, so I was pretty excited to see her. Not that my wish just helped that along at all. I think it was a no-brainer. It was just one I wanted to throw in. The Mandalorian. Not sure what's going on there. Another Mandalorian is coming out. Maybe from the final battle. He's wearing the Super Commando's jetpack from that finale of Season 3. We're getting another Bo-Katan. This time looks like she will have her alternate look from Season 3 of The Mandalorian with... she's got slightly straighter hair. And she's got the new shoulder pauldron with the mythosaur on it. So slight little variation to an existing figure, I dare say. It'll be slightly retooled, but not a big deal there. And finally, Cobb Vanth. I know fans are pumped about this. He's finally coming. Yeah, much sought after. Black Series got some interesting reveals. IG-12, Grogu, and Anzellan. Multiple pack. Anzellans are the little droid smiths like Babu Frick. So that one in Black Series, a bit more accurate in size, hopefully, to the original IG-11 that we've got. That's a few years old now, and it's very undersized. There is a Walmart exclusive Mandalorian Night Owl. So yeah, whether that's going to come out here in Australia, who knows? Could be. Yeah, Walmart exclusives over in the US. They tend to drip feed here in America, here in Australia, through Zing. Then there's going to be an Amazon exclusive Star Wars Jedi Survivor 3-pack with the sort of repainted Battle Droid, Super Battle Droid, and Magna Guard. That looks cool. I'll decide on that later. There's a Super Battle Droid coming out as part of it will be a fan channel exclusive. So that will be released down here in Australia, probably with a $55 price tag, but that's what that is. That's what we get for living in another country. And then, last but not least, I don't know, it's not necessarily part of the Black Series figure line, but it is a Moff Gideon Mandalorian helmet, which that should be pretty cool, I reckon. I'm interested to see what that's going to look like. Yeah, they are doing a good job with the helmets. I like them a lot. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's just a few of my thoughts as we talk about those figures. Yeah, again, I hope people got to remember that these fan streams happen far more frequently than they used to, sort of pre-COVID, back when you were relying solely on San Diego Comic-Con, Toy Fair back in February, New York Comic-Con, the occasional Celebration when Star Wars Celebration was happening. Now they're doing these fan streams. They're drip feeding bits and pieces at a time. So they're holding back a lot of information, Hasbro. It's not so much holding back information as just spacing apart their reveals, their pipelines, and what's going on. Basically, they're just taking their time a little bit and drip feeding a little bit. So if you feel a little bit underwhelmed about the amount of reveals, don't stress. Toy Fair is going to be here in February. There'll be more reveals then, and I'm kind of okay with the way they're doing it. It doesn't hit me in the wallet feels in one big hit. It just takes little stabs at me. So anyway, folks, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. What are you most excited about? Also wanted to mention there was a retro wave for Star Wars Episode 3 and 2. Interestingly, they're sort of putting those two in one wave. I think there was Anakin, Phase 2 clone, General Grievous, Jango Fett, Padme Amidala, and there was one more figure that I'm blanking on. If I remember, I'll try and drop the image in the video now. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on another video soon. Till then, may the Force be with you always.